How you doing, Jonathan?
How are you?
Good. You mentioned after the game that when you go for 253, Buffalo is going to have you sort of in their crosshairs. How do you deal with that? And I mean, you've done that before in all the Big Ten big games. Do you just try to carry on, or it's going to be something a little different on Saturday?
I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it's definitely going to be different on Saturday. I mean, we're talking about the NFL wild card. So this is not only, elite talent in the NFL. This is, one of the elite and the better teams in the NFL. So, I mean, it's obviously going to be tough just because the stakes are so high. Everyone's going to be dialed in, tuned in. I mean, they've been looking at film over the entire season that we have, and we've been looking at their film from over the entire season. So it's going to be a challenge. And I think the biggest thing is going to be those small little details that separates the team that's going to come out with the win, whether it's just watching one more minute or one more hour of film just to get a last tip or kind of a sign that those guys are to give you just that bit more of an edge. So it is definitely going to be tough going into this week, but that's the things you live for. Those are the games you live for.
Can you draw on the fact that you've played in the championship games, the Big Ten championship games, or is this simply different?
Yeah, I would say it's the same. It's the fact that it's a championship game, but it's different. It's another level. This is the highest level of football that we're talking about here. So it's everyone's going to bring their A game, and everyone has elite talent. Everyone is smart. So I think that it's just going to be a different level of focus you're going to have and a toughness, because it's going to take all 60 minutes. It's not going to be 48-minute or 50-minute game. It's going to take all 60 minutes.
Thanks.
Will Erickson.
Hey, Jonathan, you were on the estimated injury report with a shoulder. Did you bang yourself up last week? And is it an issue?
Nah, yeah. Anytime you get 30 carries at this level, you're bound to, come out with a little nicks and bruises. If you don't, shoot, that blessings to the man above if you don't. But yeah, we're ready to roll this Saturday.
Phil B.
Hey, JT, I was wondering about your humility. Whether you learned that from football, learned that from your family, what keeps you humble, whether in good times and bad?
Definitely my family and definitely where I came from. But from a football aspect, I mean, you weren't always the guy at one point, and I was never a guy who envied the people who were the guy, or the guys who started, or the guys who were having the long runs from little league to high school. I just always wanted to go out there and have fun and just play the game that I love. So just understanding where you come from. And, I was in that position before where I wasn't the guy. So I know what it takes. I know it takes hard work and dedication. There are a lot of guys out there that are putting in tons of hard work that want to be in, a similar position. But sometimes the cards just don't fall that way. So that's why I'm always grateful and I feel blessed, anything that happens to me in my life.
Thank you.
George Bremer.
Jonathan, along the same lines of what Chappell was asking about, do you lean this week at all on some of the veterans like Justin Houston or Phillip Rivers, because they've been here and they've done this before?
Yeah, I definitely been talking to a lot of the veterans just to get their opinions and thoughts on kind of the playoff vibes, and they all say the same thing. It's another level. You have different speeds in this game. You have OTA speed, you have training camp speed, you have season speed, but the playoff speed, it's everyone is just taking their game to another level when the playoffs comes around. So whatever you've been doing well, whatever you haven't been doing well, you need to make sure when the playoffs hit, whatever you're not doing well, you better get better at it. And whatever you do well, you better find a way to do it even better because that's what it's going to take in order to win games in the playoff.
Go a couple more here, Zach or Kevin Bowen.
Hey, Jonathan, what stands out to you about Buffalo's defense from watching them on film? How would you describe them?
Really, the way that they like to disguise a lot of their looks, they do a really good job. A lot of times it's kind of hard for defenses to do so. They like to just get into things and, just let it play out, but they do a really good job at disguising some things. So it's going to, really be a big part on us in order to make sure that we're locked in and make sure that with protections, run game, no matter what, we know who our assignment is and what we have to do because they do a good job at that.
Well, last one here, Zach Kiefer.
Jonathan, you mentioned 30 carries and being, this time of year. I'm curious, 30 carries and 250 yards on Sunday. I'm imagining you're going to get a lot of looks on Saturday as well. How do you feel at this point in the season? This is probably one of the longer seasons you've ever had.
Yeah, so I definitely feel better than what I thought I was going to feel at the end of a season, especially, heading into the playoffs. You just hear a lot of talk before you get into the league about how long the season is. Thankful enough, I was able to play in kind of some long seasons at the University of Wisconsin because we were able to earn the right to go to different bowl games and such. But to be able to feel like I do now, I mean, it's a blessing. I know there's a lot of guys that don't feel like this right now. So just being able to continue to keep up with my body and just try to do the best that I can each and every single week to make myself available.
Well, let's go last one here. Taylor Tannenbaum, go ahead.
Just a quick question. I saw that Edgerrin James commented on the Colts picture of you breaking the record, saying congratulations, you're in an elite club, something like that. Do you have a chance to talk to him? Did he reach out at all, or is that not something that happened after your big game?
No, yeah, I got a chance to talk to him, and he congratulated me. And one of the biggest things that he mentioned was just to keep pushing forward. You know what you did to get to this point, to have the game that you had, to have the season that you had. And the only thing that you can do is keep working to get better because it's only going to get harder from here.